and that's related to how the police viewed this particular demonstration on Saturday. The only other precedent that we had with Bersih was the coalition that had the rally on Saturday was a rally that they had in September in Terengganu, and that descended into violence. So you can't blame the police for thinking initially that this was going to end up the same way.
My point here being that the tendency to put a ban on opposition voices is much greater than anything else. Now, Khairy's point notwithstanding, let's look at the example of the local newspapers the following morning. The coverage of what happened on Saturday was minimal. The response of the local media was simply down the line.
I don't think the papers were taking down the line. I read, I told you, I got all my information from the newspaper.
We have the papers here, the Sunday Times in the morning. Instead of responding to what has been the biggest public demonstration in Malaysia for more than 10 years, in which the police felt they had to use water cannon and tear gas, and you've expressed an enormous fear of trouble, the newspapers here have put on page 4, illegal gathering causes traffic chaos in city.
Well, if you think that what the Al Jazeera reporter is a true source, then probably it is. But I think they were free to report anything.
The minister says they could have reported anything. Is that true?
Well, obviously, the media here is controlled. You have permits which control media houses, and obviously permits are controlled by the government. So I can't necessarily agree with the minister's statement that the media here is free enough to not sit with the government on certain key positions. I can't say for a fact whether or not there was a directive for the media to publish only a limited amount of content about this event, but I wouldn't be surprised if that were to be the case ultimately, if it were found out to be true.
You speak about voices not being heard. Let's go to the core of what Saturday was about. What Saturday was about free and fair elections. If these people have not had their voices heard, then you wouldn't have seen the plethora of changes that have taken place by the Election Commission to make election processes in Malaysia more free and fair. If you look at the changes that have taken place, transparent ballot boxes, indelible ink being used for voters to check that they don't vote twice, trying to tease away from the electoral list people who have passed on and things like that. These are changes. If you're telling me that their voices have not been heard, then surely all these demands have not been acted upon, and they have been acted upon as well.
Well, I think what you have, Saturday is actually, I think, the most important thing about Saturday is that it's a strong sign from civil society that there's a need for institutional reform. And I think civil society is saying that the kind of reforms that have been introduced are not enough.
Let the minister respond to that, please.
Yeah, as I've said, we have a system here. You have any grouses. Our system is that we channel it through the ballot box. And we have elections every 5 years or less. Now, it's difficult for us to say that this is not the best solution. I mean, what's the point of having, you call 50,000, I can call 1 million to come up. Does that mean, I'm right? So this is not our way. I mean, to decide on many issues, I've already said, it's not falling on deaf ears. When you
say it's not falling on deaf ears, but it seems that a lot of the country believes that it is.
Listen, what I'm trying to say is that what you demand